Hello, I've been hanging on to this article for a few days. It appeared in the Telegraph on the 17th of May and in the Daily Mail on the 18th of May. So it is, as I say, a few days gone, but I did want to talk about it because it is very important. And it's this man here is the chairman of the National Education Union, one of the most important unions, one of the most important teachers' unions in Britain. And as you see, he has turned up to make his speech wearing what has become the symbol of the Palestine cause and telling teachers to bring the Palestine struggle into schools. Now, anyone who thinks that this is about Palestine is just simply fooling themselves. It isn't about Palestine. It's about bringing down the Western way of life, using Palestine as the thin end of the wedge. And if you imagine that this man had turned up to give a speech to his teachers' union wearing maybe an SS uniform or a Russian commissar's uniform, you would consider that probably in extremely bad taste. And here we have this man wearing what has become the uniform of the so-called pro-Palestinian movement. But in fact, it's not pro-Palestinian, it's anti-Western. It's anti-Western values in almost every way. And he is proposing to an acquiescent union of all right-on teachers sitting there, probably applauding politely, that they should bring the Palestinian struggle into schools. I'm Granniopteryx. Please like this video. Please share it. And please subscribe. If you're on YouTube, just check you are actually still subscribed. And if you want to contribute, there's PayPal or Buy Me a Coffee. But really, it's very important that you share this video. I have noticed that there are some issues that don't seem to get the traction that others do. So if I'm talking about some nutcase on GB News, I'll get a lot of people watching the video. But if I'm talking about the dire situation in our prisons or the damage that the education system is doing to our children, it doesn't catch the attention as much, and it should, because our children are our future. And I'm going to be talking about this man, about the Batley School and a charity called The Purpose of Life. We have to worry about all of those things. All right, let's get on with it. So, according to Patrick Sawyer, a senior news reporter at The Telegraph, Britain's biggest teaching union is coaching its members on how to bring the Palestinian struggle into schools. Now, I could imagine that a teacher who is very socially concerned, especially about the situation of children, might be worried about what's going on, for instance, in Gaza right now. I would be more convinced about his true feelings if he had actually said something about, well, the 11,000 children who've been known to have died in the Yemen indirect conflict and around 500,000 who are dying of severe and prolonged malnutrition. No, it's more than that. It's about 3 million. I was thinking of the 500,000 casualties of the Syrian civil war and the ethnic cleansing that's going on right now. He's not talking about those. And of course, there's the incalculable damage that's being done to children in the Libyan civil war, which has been going on for years and years, and the society is so disorganised that dams are bursting because they're not being maintained. There was a terrible, catastrophic accident of that sort a couple of years ago. But he's not mentioning any of these things, nor indeed the, if you want to stick to Muslims, the Uyghurs in China. No, it's just the Palestine struggle. And there has to be a reason for this concentration on that particular thing. My theory is, I mean, it's not simply just my theory. My theory is that Israel is seen as a Western implant into the Middle East. And as the Middle East has become taken over by Islamism, or is threatened with Islamism, then the stand against Islamism by Israel is seen as a bit of an outrage. The National Education Union, which is headed by Matt Milovanovich, is holding a workshop next month to train members in how to advocate for Palestine in our schools. Well, that's just indoctrination, isn't it? At the same time, the union encouraged teachers to hold a day of action at their place of work on Thursday, so that would have been the Thursday of last week by now, to highlight the Palestinian struggle for freedom. Well, we've got to, when we look at any demonstration on behalf of Palestine, you get lots of drums, lots of chanting and lots of Palestinian flags, but you don't get much about Britain, do you? In fact, you get lots of people being quite negative about Britain. And the NEU organised workshop being held in Liverpool on June the 14th, that's another one, is being run by MACAN, an educational group that works towards adopting educational approaches that capture the history of the Palestine struggle, which are aimed at strengthening the movement for Palestinian liberation. So I'd say that the NEU is definitely throwing its hat into the ring on the side of Palestine. Now, as I keep saying, this in this case has nothing to do with defending Muslims, and has more to do with attacking Western civilization generally. I'm also interested in the name of this charity because the root, I don't know whether it's a set of initials or anything, but the Arabic root, MKN, is to do with becoming strong or to have influence with something. So I'm not sure how whether they're actually telling you what they are in that name there. MACAN says its workshops are designed to provide foundational knowledge on key issues like the Nakba, settler colonialism, imperialism and apartheid. The Nakba is the Arabic word meaning catastrophe, which is used about the foundation of the State of Israel. So you can't say it's at all dispassionate about the existence of Israel when they say Nakba in that way. And then, of course, the usual jibes thrown at Israel, colonialism, imperialism and apartheid. So I just thought maybe we should talk about the NEU generally, because the NEU was the union that the Batley teacher belonged to. The Batley teacher, meaning I don't know his name, and of course, even if I did, I wouldn't put it out, which is more than we can say for the NEU. The National Education Union Okay, so sorry, some of you might not know about the Batley teacher. Here's this nice Yorkshire school. Look at it. So old-fashioned, you know, so cute, so Yorkshire, in an almost doll's house sort of way, with Yorkshire stone, made out of Yorkshire stone, and obviously a 19th century building. And it turned into this, because what happened was, during a religious education class, a teacher showed some, I don't know whether it was a religious education or civics, but whatever it was, the teacher showed some cartoons of Muhammad. Previous to that class, he warned the children, some of whom were Muslims, that if they didn't want to see that, then they were excused from that class. He was being what you might call culturally sensitive. Frankly, I don't think they should have done that. I think they should have said, right, this is what we're teaching, like it or lump it. But they showed this weakness, and then this happened. There was a sort of revolt by Muslim parents. Some of the people in this demonstration were not from the area. There is one particular hot gospeler, so to speak, who came in from somewhere else and started whipping the crowd up. But the worst of it was that the union to which the teacher belonged, that is, the National Education Union, has donated to a charity called The Purpose of Life, which then went on to publish the teacher's name. The National Education Union has said nothing about that. So I thought I'd have a look at what The Purpose of Life was. Well, I checked with the Charity Commission, and the Charity Commission registration on The Purpose of Life, here you are, you see Purpose of Life, says it's got general charitable purposes, the advancement of health or saving of lives, the prevention or relief of poverty, which is very noble and honourable. The charity operates, it says here, throughout England and Wales. And then these are other countries: Bangladesh, Burma, China, Egypt, India, Indonesia, Jordan, Kenya, Morocco, Nepal, occupied Palestinian territories. I don't know what that means, because there are many who would suggest that the whole of Israel is occupied Palestinian territory. And it does seem a little, if they'd have said, say, Gaza and the West Bank, I would have understood that as an area of concern. But no, that's what they've put there. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, Uganda and the Yemen. So it seems like not all, but many of the countries that they deal with are majority Muslim countries. So I did wonder what the trustees of this charity were. And these are the trustees: Mohammed Sajjad Hussain, Kumar Abbas, Kabir Ali, Dr. Ajas Ahmed, Yahya Sidat, Dr. Mohammed Imran Hussain. So they appear to be Muslim people. So it looks really like The Purpose of Life is a Muslim charity, mostly. And what The Purpose of Life did was, having got the name of the teacher and his personal details, no doubt from the union, although I can't say that for sure, maybe they just looked him up in the phone book, they published those online. The Islamic charity, which has now removed the teacher's name from its online post, has since been accused of endangering his safety and acting in a reckless manner, and have been reported to the Charity Commission. Dr. Paul Stott, Associate Fellow at the Henry Jackson Society think tank, told The Telegraph, "There is now real question about the ability of the NEU to represent its members at Batley Grammar School. The Kirklees branch of the NEU has funded an organisation that calls for the sacking of a school teacher for doing his job." So that's the NEU, and as has been frequently noted, and this happened in the Iranian revolution that brought the Ayatollah Khomeini to power. There was what's called a red-green coalition. That is, the far-left socialists would make a coalition with the Islamists, and they'd use their commitment in order to bring down a society. Well, what happened in Iran was that the society was brought down, and as soon as the Islamists had gained control of that society with the help of the far left activists, they then went about executing all the far left activists. I've said this on many occasions, so sorry if I appear to be belabouring the point, but there seems to be among people on the left no ability to learn from history. And people like this turning up in their almost Nazi uniform appear to be following that same pattern. Well, I don't mind if he does do that, but what I do mind is what he might be doing to the next generation of British citizens and to the poisoning of young minds in a British society. So, yeah, it's certainly worth pointing out the damage that somebody like this is doing, even by just standing there and wearing that symbol of murder and mayhem. Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.